As the Federal Executive Council has commenced processes towards fast-tracking improvement in power supply situation across the country, with approvals on procurement and debt servicing processes. This was one of the major decisions at the Council's meeting this Wednesday. State House Correspondent Musbau Dan-Wahab reports on this and other decisions of the Council.
The Federal Executive Council this day recorded notably low number of memos, but with significant outcomes. Far-reaching as they come, with President Bola Tinubu himself taking the floor to update his foot soldiers on the indices for social and economic progresses. He recommitted to building the proposed 1 trillion economy by 2030. But on these, he wants ministries, departments and agencies' dedication to optimizing public savings and spending efficiencies. The president also announced the cooperation elicited from the sub-nationals on the Renewed Hope World-Based Development Program.
And that collaboration is going to be key in the world-based initiative across 8,809 wards to provide, in all the 774 local governments, to provide funding, support, and facilitation to thousands of economically active individuals at the grassroots in each ward. And this is a way of addressing poverty and ensuring, as Mr. President has promised, that no Nigerian will be left behind. So it's a collaboration between the federal, the states, and the local governments, prioritizing productivity-enhancing investments.
The coordinating minister got approval to commence a phased plan for the refinancing of the electricity sector outstanding obligation of 4 trillion naira. 3 of the memos approved for the Power Ministry are for the procurement of various grades of power transformers to replace the dilapidated ones across the national grid. The 14 transformers procurement will cost the government more than $34 million.
If this is done, it will not only enhance power supply, but to also relieve overloaded power transformers that is operating across the national grid. And this will also enable us to cope with the increased wheeling capacity of the national grid. The national grid is over 50 years old, and we know that a lot of the power transformers, the cables, they are old, they are weak, so there is the necessity for us to regularly maintain the grid and replace all these old and dilapidated infrastructure.
Another memo approved for the ministry is for the disbursement of compensation for the right-of-way for the Lagos-Ogun Industrial Hub Transmission Project. The project is being financed with a $238 million development loan from the Japanese government. The Council equally approved commencement of a new policy towards strengthening tertiary education institutions in the country with approval of a 7-year moratorium for establishment of new federal tertiary institutions.
The FEC decision today is the most pragmatic and the best for our educational system, for our tertiary educational system, so that we can sustain the respect that the world has for us. We can now begin to mobilize resources to improve infrastructures, both manpower and physical infrastructures, in the current institutions that we have as a federal government. If we do this, we would also expand, we'll be able to improve quality of education, and more importantly, increase the carrying capacities of these universities, of these called polytechnics and colleges of education.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transportation got approval for the construction of bus terminals, 1 in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, with consideration for economic viability of the locations.